like to cook what I'm in the mood for, you know? Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to, oh my gosh, Sarah's about to ring this bell. Yeah, he always does it. Oh my gosh, he's just staring at me. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. But hello, everybody. Good morning. I don't know when you're watching this, but I am recording a kind of like what I would plan to eat for Christmas, but I'm recording it early. I took a poll over here on YouTube, and I was like, okay, what video should I record and post next? And everybody was like, give us Christmas ideas. So I do want to put this out. I'm only cooking for 2. So I'm cooking for me and my husband. So if you want to make any of this, you'll need to double or triple, just depending on how many people you're cooking for. Another thing is, I'm not cooking like traditional holiday Thanksgiving type of food, you know what I mean? I'm not making any mac and cheese. I'm not making any yams. I do have recipes for all of that in my digital cookbook, but I like to cook what I'm in the mood for, you know? I'm currently in the mood for some vegan fried fish, some braised cabbage, this crispy creamed potato type of dish. I was really wanting some vegan fried fish, and I mean, how come you can't have it on Christmas? Okay, so that's what we're gonna get into. I actually made the sides yesterday night. So those were, oh, and I also made stuffed mushrooms. Ooh, chef's kiss, okay? So I made everything, all of that last night because it was, the sides are perfect for, like, you can reheat them. So I figured, okay, make it the night before, you'll be good. But today, because I want my vegan fried fish to be crispy, crunchy, and all that goodness, I'm making that today, and we're actually gonna enjoy everything today. So let's get into the video. First, I'm gonna show y'all the sides, and then we'll get into the vegan fried fish. Okay, beautiful people. So we're starting off with the braised cabbage. I have this recipe on my website in case you need it. But for this, I feel like braised cabbage is honestly so easy to make because you just need onions, red bell pepper, garlic, and the cabbage, and of course seasonings and vegetable broth. But it's not too many ingredients, and you can honestly find these at just about any grocery store. So I just started out by dicing the vegetables. So I diced the onion, the garlic, as well as the red bell pepper. I did chop the cabbage up into bite-sized pieces. I like my cabbage to be a little bit small. I know that sometimes cabbage, like, there'll be larger pieces, but I like this medium pieces of cabbage for me. We're gonna wash and clean the cabbage really well. So then I just sauteed everything in some oil, and I just lightly salted it, as well as added some black pepper. I let it cook on the stove for about 10 minutes or so. Once the vegetables were tender, then I added in the garlic and then the seasonings. So I went in with garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, a Cajun seasoning, and then a better than bouillon and water mixture. Cover it with the lid, and it's a really hands-off process. You'll want to check on it and stir it every now and then, but for the most part, this is a foolproof way of making braised cabbage. So the next dish that I'm making is a crushed potato. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna butcher this. Gratin? Oh my gosh, did I pronounce that right? I hope I did. Anyway, I found this recipe on Allison Roman's website. Alice Roman she's amazing. I love her recipes and just how she maneuvers in the kitchen. It's just really inspiring. But I took her recipe as well as a recipe that I found on New York Times Cooking, and I kind of merged the two. In order to create this dish, you'll just need mini potatoes, leeks, as well as green onions and scallions. And then we're going to have like a cream mixture. Making this really inspired me to step outside of my comfort zone more, to create dishes that I'm not familiar with. I've never made this before, so I was really excited to give it a try, especially for this video. I think 2024 for me is gonna be that year where I am trying new things. Once those are tender, then we're gonna go in with some coconut cream as well as some vegan Parmesan and then some dairy-free milk. I used almond milk for mine, and then just did a little salt and pepper to taste. You don't have to do too much, but you just want to make sure you're tasting it along the way so that it's not too salty. And then once the potatoes are finished boiling, we're gonna smash them. This was so fun. I just really enjoyed this. And now we're going to layer. So I added down, so this is a buttered dish. I added down the potatoes. Then I went in with that scallion leek and coconut cream Parmesan sauce. Layered more potatoes, more of that cream leek scallion sauce, and then more potatoes. Just finished that process until I ran out, and then we're gonna pop this into the oven. I will actually link the 2 recipes that I use for inspiration. That way you can follow them if you want, but I am very, very impressed with how this turned out, and I really enjoyed it and plan to make it again in the future. Okay, the next thing we're making is stuffed mushrooms. Y'all, these were delicious. Oh my gosh. So I removed the stems from the mushrooms, and then I just wiped the dirt off of them. Now, we're not gonna get rid of the stems because we're going to use those to help stuff the mushrooms. So I just diced those into very small pieces, and then I also cut up garlic as well as onion, and we just want that to be as fine as possible. Next, I'm gonna remove some of the gills from inside the mushrooms. You don't have to do this, I just chose to. And I'm gonna pop these into the oven to pre-cook. I drizzled it with some olive oil and then added a light amount of salt and black pepper. And I put those in the oven for about 10 minutes on, I wanna say 400 degrees. Now the garlic, mushrooms, and onions that we cut up, we're going to cook those. Season it with salt and black pepper, and we're just gonna continue to cook these until they are tender. Once those finished, I added them to a bowl along with some breadcrumbs, some vegan Parmesan, and then I cut up some kale and I included that in there. Season this again to taste, and you can honestly taste this along the way because it doesn't have anything that needs to be cooked again, so you'll be fine. Taste it along the way. I added in some salt and black pepper, and then I also went in with some Italian herbs. Now, I did want this to be a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? A bit more moist. Oh, sorry if somebody doesn't like that word, but I wanted it to be a bit more moist, so I added in just like a splash of water. Then went ahead and stuffed the mushroom caps, drizzled it with a bit of olive oil, and popped those in the oven until they started to brown a bit on the top. But these were chef's kiss, okay? So good. Okay, the next thing I'm making is my vegan fried fish. So this is actually made from banana blossoms. You're gonna drain and rinse it off really well because it is in brine. And then I squeezed all the excess water out. I went in with seasonings such as furikake, or you can use kelp seasoning, which may be a bit easier to find. I also added in some Old Bay, and then I had some seaweed sheets that I just put in a food processor and crushed it up. Also add a liquid. I went in with an almond milk, unsweetened original almond milk, and we're just gonna put this in the fridge for about 30 minutes to marinate. And while that's marinating, you can either buy a pre-seasoned fish fry mix or you can make it yourself. I actually just combined corn flour, cornmeal, all-purpose flour, and then I seasoned it up with some smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, as well as a Creole seasoning, the Tony's Creole seasoning. And then I went in with some crushed garlic granules. So combined all that, and then the last thing I added in here was some dried parsley. Now while the banana blossoms were still marinating, I went ahead and made my roasted okra and peppers because these are so good. I just always have to have these together. So for this, I just cut up some mini sweet red peppers, as well as some fresh okra. I drizzled some olive oil and seasoned that with salt and black pepper, and then that Tony's Creole seasoning. You don't have to do too much to these because just the flavors, the natural flavors will come out anyway. Okay, now back to our vegan fried fish. So after our banana blossoms have been marinating, I took about 1/4 cup of the fish fry mix that we made and added it to the banana blossoms. This is going to help act as somewhat of a binder. The one thing that I would recommend is instead of keeping the really large, long pieces, you may want to chop these up a bit so that you don't have those super long pieces. Form these into your favorite shape, whatever you want to do. Add it in the fish fry mix, just coat each side really well, and then fry these until they are golden on each side. placed mine on the cooling rack so that the excess oil can drip off. And while those were cooling, my honey bunny made us a dairy-free eggnog, which was mighty delicious. He followed a recipe that we found online, so I'll link that in the description box, but it was very, very delicious. Y'all, we tasted it and it's so good. I really liked it. Brandon said it's missing something, but that was just the alcohol. Sir, you want some? So Brandon just finished making our eggnog and I'm about to plate everything, but I'm really excited. I already ate one of the the stuffed mushrooms last night just to taste it. It was delicious. We also snacked on the potatoes a little bit just to make sure they were good, and they were amazing. I know the vegan fried fish is great. So let's plate everything and enjoy. We're about to eat, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you try some of the meals. Hope you try some. Thanks, Pumpkin. Hope you try some of the meals. I hope you have an amazing time with your family, and I just want to say thank you for all of your support. Thanks for helping me figure out what I wanted to post today. But yeah, so we're about to enjoy, and I wish you the best.